Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon. It's anime.
Fuck you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this new tradition.
Yeah, that shit is stupid.
Oh, it's so funny.
Let Bethunzi do that. That's his thing, man.
That's Bethunzi's thing, and he did it well for him. You do
Right.
it trash.
It's okay.
Trash
It's
as
all right.
fuck, bro. God damn.
All right. Welcome to another episode of AnimeSHUN. The squad is in full effect, baby.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Brennan's here.
What
Ice
up?
here.
Yep.
Rob's here.
Yep.
The whole gang is back finally. It's
Back
been a
in this
while.
bitch. It's been a
Yeah.
minute.
First time we've been
Yes.
back together on this particular anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is AnimeSHUN. You know what it is. We review anime. We do one-off. We do debates. That's what we do on this show. We have a little fun. And this week we're continuing with Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Episode.
Oh wait, I'm just hold on real quick.
Yeah, there we
I'm
go.
back. So
Yeah,
you
yep.
know what it is. It's the greatest fucking anime podcast in the world. And I mean I got some notes real quick
Oh,
before we get
goodness.
into it
Here we
because
go.
I've been
Oh,
listening
God.
to these episodes and y'all just been talking big shit.
Does
So I
anybody
got
You got like 2
I feel
minutes.
like I'm
for
not
your-
interested.
That's
minute-
fine. That's
2
all
minutes
I
for your
need.
notes, man.
You
That's
need-
all I need. That's all I need. First off, we are the greatest anime podcast in the
My man
fucking world.
looked into the camera for that, just for the
You are,
record.
so you know this is real. We are.
If you're on the podcast, we have a YouTube channel.
And especially arrogant and cocky motherfucker like Brendan, for him to say that we aren't, that's kind of
I didn't say
that
we aren't. And first of all, I am offended that you'd call me arrogant.
I mean, it's true. Come on
Confident
now.
for sure.
I don't think I'm arrogant.
Okay.
Arrogant and believes that you are better than others. I don't believe I'm better than
How
others.
many times has he said that word for word? That
I
I'm
think
better than you?
he thinks he's better than at others at the things that he's strong at.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah,
That's
I mean, if we're
different, though.
competing,
Okay,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna
okay,
destroy you.
so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That doesn't make me an
back to
arrogant
what I'm
person.
saying.
Destroy at all, but-
Back to what I said. Don't ever sing again, Brendan. That's the first thing I want to say. That shit was trash last week.
I appreciate your support.
I think also too.
You mean for
when-
Rob's birthday?
Yeah, that was trash, dog.
You say don't sing for Rob's birthday.
That was trash. Yeah, it's
I
one way
mean,
to sing.
I'm not a fan of the
No.
birthday song in general.
Yeah,
I'm not
see?
throwing you under the
See?
bus or anything, but
And-
I don't
and-
memorize that.
I'm gonna sing more.
And
Like,
on top
there
of
will
that,
be singing today.
y'all was talking about stuff that wasn't true, saying that I always say illogical stuff. I'm not gonna get deep into it, but I want to make one point.
I knew he was gonna come back.
I
want
to make one point because y'all said that like the episode when we talked about anime, they was like, yeah, we just kept proving Ice wrong and he just stuck his feet in the sand and
Has
didn't
it been
move.
2 minutes yet?
But
Almost.
no, but you that same episode I changed. I went through and progressed and was like, you know what? Anime can be different things, and you even said, "Oh, Ice, I appreciate you."
By you,
throughout
he
the
means
episode.
by you, he means Brennan. By the
Yeah,
way.
but that's why I'm pointing to bitch ass Brennan with his bald bitch ass head.
Wow.
But
He
back
has
to
some
what I was
feel-
saying.
he's been in his
no,
feelings.
no, I'm back. No,
I
I'm
knew he was
back.
coming in with an
Yeah, I'm
axe to
coming in
grind.
hot. I've been listening on the sidelines and shit. Yeah, you said that, but then you even said that episode. You was like, "Damn, I appreciate you." You know,
got
you
5 seconds.
You changed your opinion. You changed your opinion throughout the show. So which one is it?
I still do.
That's just me. Y'all can't say
You
I'm
did it one
illogical
time, and I'm proud of you.
then
Congratulations, I
Give
said
an
it.
example, and it's something different. That's all I'm saying. I'm back in this bitch. Ice Daddy with the dance moves. Back into this.
You said almost a
Punk-ass
whole lot
show.
of nothing, to be honest.
No, I said a lot. I said a lot, and like I said, still can't prove me wrong on anything that I ever said. I'm still waiting for it. Hasn't happened.
What episodes are we reviewing today?
We proved you wrong. We're not going through this.
When?
right
I
now.
mean,
we're not
we
going
can
through
go
this
back
right
and
now.
yeah,
We've already proved you wrong.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Keenan's with the look away though.
Yeah.
Keenan's not
you
looking
can-
at-
people can look away all
Keenan
they
with the
want. It
look
doesn't matter
away.
what it is.
Look.
It's still what it is.
At the end of the day, you've been proved wrong.
When?
You can't.
I need receipts.
You
give
can't.
me. Give me.
Watch
drop
the
some
podcast
receipts.
over. Watch the podcast
Drop
over.
some receipts.
I said it multiple times.
Drop some receipts. Didn't prove me wrong on Hunter x Hunter. Didn't put me wrong on Trunks. Didn't put me wrong on Demon Slayer. Like what?
Hunter,
what we gonna talk about?
What do you mean on Demon Slayer?
Like what do you mean?
What do you mean
That
on
it
Demon-
just checks boxes. Like nobody can prove me wrong on that. Rob said the same shit I did.
that Demon Slayer's average?
Yeah, he said the same thing that I did.
I mean, but
He
that's a
said-
subjective thing.
But I'm just saying nobody can
Like,
prove it
you're
wrong.
like, prove me wrong that my subjective opinion is better.
We'll
I'm
prove
just
you
saying.
wrong if that's the point. Is majority disagree with you.
No,
I would agree with that.
So that
Let's see.
proves you wrong.
most
No.
people like
You just-
Demon
yeah,
Slayer
you
is
just
easily one of
said
the
it.
most popular anime in
And
the
this
world
is
right
why
now.
this
the
is
most
why,
popular anime in the
One
world.
of the most popular
one of
anime
them. Yeah,
in
you
the
can say
world.
that.
If you can listen,
Yeah.
then you can
and
respond.
this is why you
I
can't.
only got mono. I only got mono. So
This is why you can't
Yeah.
debate with
Really?
somebody who just is a brick wall. They just stay.
it's
They
not
don't.
a brick wall.
They
It's
just
just
they stay in one. I didn't.
I did ask you a question though.
Yeah.
I
We're
said
reviewing episode 17.
Oh, we
through
on
20.
episode 17.
17 to 20. Okay,
Yes, we're
cool.
reviewing episode 17 to 20.
Gotcha. That's what we're doing today. We're watching Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. And
Rob over here like
Rob
was
is-
Counting them up. Just
it
Rob
17
is-
to 20?
is it 17 to 20? It is, right?
Yeah,
no,
was.
it is.
It
It
was.
is. I was thinking maybe we. I realized today actually coming in like we between this like last week and that, like what's left, we probably should have done like 5 and 5 because there's
Yeah,
10
they gotta
episodes.
do
That's what I was
Oh,
thinking when I was
yeah.
watching. I was like, why don't we just because it's 6 episodes left.
Yeah, so I think
That's gonna be a big
3 and 3 now, or are we just gonna hit the whole?
Might as well hit
Wait, no.
6 and get it over
Yeah,
with.
just do the whole 6.
may as well. We'll
Yeah.
just do a super episode next week.
That's gonna be
Make
You
You
just
clear
gonna
the
have to-
schedules
You gotta
out.
get on your Twister shit. And
It's
be like,
gonna
So yeah, we're doing episode 17 to 20. Cowboy Bebop, man. Yeah. So let's continue on, man. You want to start us off, Rob? Episode 17.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this one was called Mushroom Samba, and as soon as I saw mushrooms in the title and I had a flashback to Samurai Champloo, I was like, oh no!
yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't as bad as all that.
Black
yes,
people.
Yeah, lots of black people in this episode. They start out on the ship. They're starving and broke, pretty much just like regular.
I don't like
no
that.
fuel.
I don't like that I said black people, and then he just went straight into starving and broke. Like,
Hey man, that's how the episode.
I know. I just, if I had known that's where we were going, I probably wouldn't have said it then.
that's what they were. That's how it starts off. Fucking
No, it
Brennan.
is, but
God
I know
damn
I
it.
get it. I'm just
Damn, it's
You know.
Black History Month.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's my
Brendan,
point.
February, fuck.
God.
I'm trying to
Damn
get
it.
excited about us.
When?
Well, here's the thing. I will say this before you get into that. Cowboy Bebop is. I think I see why a lot of black people probably do love this anime or do like
Representation.
the representation on this anime throughout any other anime is completely. This has shown
Yeah.
black people in a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
a lot of
doing-
lights.
Huh?
I mean, a lot of different lights. So like
And a lot of different lights, and they do
they're
different
bad
things.
guys, good guys, regular people.
And
like,
they've been somewhat dope in this, and just not sitting there as a face going like, "Oh, him over there," and then that's the
Or
end
just
of it, or some
Comic relief or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they've
I
been
mean,
they've
assassin
Or
Yeah.
rapping.
been yes,
or basketball.
Yeah,
or basketball. Shoot.
Three-pointer.
From Senegal. Oh my
Oh,
god.
that was so
Three-pointer.
funny. He's like, oh, look at
That
him. He
shit
can
is
play.
slam a dunk.
Yeah. So
Ah.
this is what that's one thing I will give Cowboy Bebop. What they've been doing is representation in the 90s.
In
So,
the 90s. They were
yeah.
super progressive between that and then the transgender people and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
We're
everything.
talking
And all
I
that stuff.
shout out to them. You be always picking the deep shit.
I like the classics, man, yeah.
Thought-provoking shit.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
do.
Eva. What are your picks so far? Eva and
Evangelion,
I can't say that. on my life.
Bullshit.
Princess
Kingdom Come.
Mononoke.
Good lord, you're right. Yeah,
And this.
Robbie making us thank.
I like the conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
But,
great about the picks is that our picks are always kind of different from each other.
I feel like I'm mainstream as hell.
Yeah,
A
you
little
go with
bit.
what's hot.
I look over what I like.
Hey, you keep us up on what's new. I appreciate it
Yeah.
because I'm not
You
usually
go-
picking the new stuff.
Yeah, I
You just
respect
go
it.
with what's hot.
So yeah, they're literally they're out of fuel, just like dead in space, drifting along. Like they
Sonny.
go to the reserves. It's like this was the like last of the last stuff they were supposed to eat, and it's gone. Somebody raided the pantry. I'm not saying I immediately knew who it was, but I was immediately looking at Faye,
Oh yeah,
considering
definitely.
she's robbed them blind several
And-
times already.
Yeah, that's what she does.
I don't
I
like
thought Ed
her.
maybe.
I don't like her as a character. Like she's such an asshole and a dick person that it's like you're not likable. Like I don't
Haven't-
like her at all.
I haven't felt sorry for anything that's happened.
No.
Not at all.
At least when people do like dick moves or just like a fucked up character like a Zenitsu, he's not fucked up, or like a Insunuke or anybody like that, like a character like that, like they do stupid shit or dumb shit. It's like, okay, I feel for you because you show like a human side here and there that make you likable. Like she hasn't done anything likable throughout the whole series. It's like, I fuck with her. Like, no, she just always trying to fuck them over, trying to do the shit with the dog. Like that shit
Yeah.
was foul. Like
yeah.
she's just not a decent person.
I would say that's true up until probably the last episode
Yeah,
of this stretch,
yeah,
actually.
Yeah.
Because she has been out for number one. I mean, that's a big part of the show is all these people are isolated. But I mean, they're looking at each other at this point. They're all starving. There's no food. They're fighting amongst each other. What are they gonna do? And while they're having this fight, like Ed ends up having like this one little like peanut to herself, and they immediately are like, "Fuck! Like let's jump her and get that." Like there's that
screaming.
level of starving.
That scream was hilarious.
Yeah, just I that got a chuckle out of me. But while they're fighting over that peanut, they get fucking hit and run. Like a ship slams into them.
I never imagined a hit and run space. Just in
like
my
you
mind.
have all
Too
this
much
fucking
room.
space.
They could have gone anywhere, and they somehow slam into the ship that's just like adrift.
I can guarantee, because we're stupid humans, I can guarantee there's gonna be a lot of hit and runs if once we get into space travel. People are so stupid in the way they drive now that space. I'm sorry, I was on my phone texting.
I remember when I was a
Don't text
kid
in space.
and we were watching the Jetsons, and like all the kids would just say stuff like, "Oh man, I can't wait till we have flying cars." And I remember one of my teachers was like, "You guys are never gonna see flying cars," and we were like, "What?" He's like, "We have trouble on the roads, like keeping
Very
ourselves
true.
safe. Like
That's
if you add
true.
another vector, like it's gonna be everybody just dead. Like houses
It's just gonna be
explode.
tons of metal just falling on motherfuckers.
But you would have to have.
Yeah.
They would have to build some type of quote unquote space streets for us
Yeah.
to navigate on. You can't just be flying.
Just-
Oh
straight
man,
towards people.
do you want to get into this conversation because that's already happening
Mm.
with drones and stuff? But I don't know if we want to go down that path.
That's a whole
That's a
rabbit
whole-
hole.
That's a whole rabbit hole.
That's
But
a
if you want to
whole
talk about it later,
We got some drones later coming
Yeah.
up.
yeah, we do.
That sounds
drones,
like a
baby.
conversation that you would have on mushrooms.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
hey.
God damn it, Ice. I didn't miss Ice.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah,
miss Ice.
Yeah, you did.
And he pointed at the
goddamn
camera when he said that too. I just
Look straight to camera.
That's right.
So they're in a panic trying to figure out what they're going to do because now they've been totally knocked off course. Their course is like, all right, we're just going to like drift to Europa and then we're going to refuel, get our food up then. But now they're being drifted towards this other moon. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. Faye can't help out because she's running to the bathroom because as they figure out those rations that she ate,
Oh,
year
expired.
expired.
Yeah.
And she's got some food poisoning going
Does
on.
rations do they expire? Like
They do,
military, like
definitely.
MREs and shit.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
You,
They have
like
a
it's like
long
3 or
expiration.
4
Takes long.
years or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, they'll last a while, but
I
not
think
forever.
she was in there taking a dookie the whole
Oh
time.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, so when that water came out later during
Oh,
disgusting.
blowing up.
Have
the
you guys
bathroom.
ever ate an MRE?
Yes.
MRE, yeah, actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen one.
yeah,
I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
was not good.
Yeah.
So they're going down towards the planet where they're being forced to land. They crash land. Everybody's safe. Spike and Jet are looking at the ship. Ed wants to help out, and they're like, "Yeah, you know what, Ed? Like, we're good. You know, we don't really need any help. How about you track us down some food? That's how you can be helpful right now." So Ed takes off with the dog, and they're out in the desert looking around, and finally they see the ship that hit them fly overhead, and Ed's like, all right, like let me go find out where the ship is, and chases after it, of course loses it,
Yeah.
but comes across a watermelon stand, and it's just like, fuck, I'm starving.
Wait, let's take a moment with that. This is the blackest episode,
Yeah.
and she comes
See,
across a watermelon stand.
Brennan, I think Brennan, when I watched this, I said, Brennan's going to fill me on this. I said, we had to.
Had to have the watermelon stand in the black episode.
episode.
Because then a black lady pulls up.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, you just said that is good representation. I mean, I
people to
saw
be
it
in it.
too. I was just like,
And then
But I'm just saying, everybody likes watermelon.
only thing I was happy with is that they didn't show her cracking it open and eating the shit. Because if they would have
Oh,
did
man,
that, I'd
that'd
have
be
been
so
like,
funny. She just had like
and
a
then
whole
she
scene
like
of like
engulfs the
"I
whole
sure
fucking
love
watermelon
me
in one
some-"
bite.
It's like
"Oh."
it'd
Yeah,
be
she
like
would've
an
did,
advertisement.
yeah.
I sure love me some watermelons.
Yeah, some bamboozle shit. I'd have been like, all right,
What was the
I'm not
dub?
finishing this.
How did they sound? The black people.
Just normal.
In the dub,
white-
it sounded kind of like, it sounded normal a little bit. Like the girl sounded normal. One of the guys sounded a little stereotypical, but I mean, it sounded like people.
Oh, I was thinking of the sub. My bad.
The dub,
Yeah,
I didn't watch the dub.
Yeah,
I
I watched that bullshit.
didn't
I
watch
didn't
that.
watch
You watched the dub, Cameron? Yeah.
I mean, this is his first anime. You watching the same type of anime as somebody's first anime.
I had to
He's
watch this
dipping the
shit
toes
in
in.
2 times speed today, so I had to watch it in fucking
No.
dub for sure.
So yeah, Ed shows up and it's like, hey, can I get one of the watermelons? And the guy's like, not unless you got money, and she doesn't, so she doesn't get shit. Then yes, this woman shows up, who's a bounty hunter, out on the road. She's looking for this guy named Domino. Hands a picture to the guy and it's just like, hey,
Future
you seen him
Foxy
around?
Brown looker.
Yeah, I was saying there's a
Yeah,
lot of
little Pam
stuff in
Grier.
this episode.
Pam Grier,
I was thinking Pam Grier, a
Yeah.
lot of like references to like blaxploitation 1970s films in this
Yeah.
episode.
Black Dynamite.
So while she's showing him the photo and it's just like, hey, you recognize this guy? Guy's like, no, I haven't seen him. All of a sudden realize Ed's not there anymore. So this woman pulls up into the gas station, filling her tank up. Police stop by and are just like, hey, we're looking for somebody that came in through one of the gates, been dealing illicit mushrooms. And she's like, oh yeah, that's the bounty I'm after right now.
Yeah.
So we're after the same guy. And they're like, hey, well, you mind if we look in your trunk? She's like, I got nothing to hide. Go
Still
for it.
racist.
Yeah. They pop the trunk and immediately draw pistols because right there in the trunk
As a kid.
are Ed and
Imagine
Ein.
that.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you imagine?
that.
Yeah, being that woman, like.
What the fuck
Yo,
I'm
I
just,
swear.
And then like you acting surprised, but it's like, oh yeah, of course you're gonna
You're
act surprised.
surprised.
You didn't know
Yeah.
a kid.
These
was in
cops
there.
were
It's
terrible.
Like,
they're
These are some of the worst cops.
Like, bro, at the last thing a black person would ever steal is a white baby.
Yeah.
You know the consequences is over for you.
Right.
You're doing life. I'm just helping them. Sure you were.
Right. That's
Triple
it.
life.
They don't even get life. You dead. That's it.
But then Ed and them would sneak out. They jet out of there and
yeah, and then we catch up with the person who is in the photo. This guy Domino walking down the street. He's eating a sandwich, and he gets stopped by another bounty hunter. This guy who says he's one of the younger Shaft brothers.
Yeah.
But the other nod that he has is he's dragging this coffin around and asks him like, oh, you know what I'm dragging this coffin? Which is a nod to the original Django, who
Right.
always dragged his coffin around with him and hit his machine gun and all this stuff in there.
I
And
thought
this-
it was gonna be some Wolfwood shit.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought,
Yeah, same.
'cause
I
that
was
was
just
the
about
thing.
to say that.
Yeah, because in the original Django, that's where he kept all his weapons and stuff. But as he's threatening him, giving him Domino all these cool lines with like, you know why I got this with me? Boom! The coffin gets absolutely shattered.
That was very. I actually laughed at that part because I was like, "Oh, this is about to be." Saudi.
Played yourself.
But Ed's, sees Domino eating the sandwich, comes in, and it's just like, "Yo, give me some of that." But it's too late. It's too late. And so Domino ends up getting chased off by Shaft, and some of these mushrooms that Domino had fall out of the bag. And being as hungry as they are, Ein eats one of them, and
As
then
you
starts
should.
acting real fucking weird.
Walks
Starts
up on his
He's just
hind
like-
legs.
That was funny. The dog just
Just
popping,
like-
like hopping around. I was
Yeah.
like, "That's." I don't know if that's the representation of what it may or may not be like. Not saying.
Have you ever got?
Ah.
Have you ever got? Well, they said that the shrooms in there make you kind of like laugh the whole time or something, like hallucinate or whatever. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever got your pets high before? That's probably like giving up too much information, but like
No.
blown smoke in your pets.
I never.
I have never
I had a
participated in
pet.
illegal.
I never had a
drugs.
pet growing up.
I said blow smoke. That's weed.
At sometimes in our lives,
You be
when I
crack
had
smoke.
dogs, it was illegal.
Okay.
When-
When you had dogs, it was illegal.
yeah, I grew up in Michigan.
Weed
and
was illegal.
Weed was illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, I
In
thought you
Michigan.
said it's still.
In
It's
some
actually
places.
it's legal in Michigan. Oh,
Oh,
you
is
mean
it?
like federally? Oh, sorry. This is
Federally
Cameron
still
just
legal.
putting his 2 cents in.
Yeah.
He
I
does
mean,
that.
okay. You don't want to dry snitch on yourself. That's good. Cool.
I'm good, bro. I'm over here just like, yeah, no.
Do you-
Oh, you
you've-
saying asking if I do illegal things while we're filming and taping? No, never have, never will.
People always talk about
I
how they
got-
do coke
I've-
and stuff like that on
Yeah,
camera. They don't.
yeah,
There's
I don't
no
give a fuck.
statute of limitations.
I've been
I do
high
not.
twice.
I do not do that.
I've been high twice and I don't smoke.
There you go.
That's impressive. Good job.
So Ein eats the mushroom and starts acting super weird, and Ed's just like, oh, well, let's find out these are safe for people to eat. Brings it back to camp and just like one by one sets a little mushroom out, waits for everybody to come by. And
That's some fucked up. That's
This is
fucked
the
up.
episode I liked Ed again.
really?
I don't know
I was like,
why.
this is some diabolical shit.
Oh,
It
this is
was.
terrible.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
100% terrible. But I was just like, all right, Ed is fun.
Yeah, this is her
Ed
show.
is, and this is a cartoon, but Ed is fun. And I've seen people get tricked. And that's why I always ask, like, what the fuck is this, man? What you got up in here? When somebody goes, hey, you want to try a brownie? What's in here, bro?
Yeah.
I don't need no, because I don't get high like that either. So
Yeah.
for me, I don't know how my reaction would be. I'll probably be fucked up.
Yeah.
But
that
has
was
any
my hot story. Really, is I took some orange slices that I didn't know were
infused or whatever like
they
that?
were edibles. That was fucking wicked.
So none of y'all have never been tricked into eating something before either?
No, man,
Nope.
that'd be some serious shit.
How
be really
pissed would
mad.
you be?
I'd be so mad.
Yeah.
I'd be mad.
I saw it happen to my brother. And he it's one of the few times I've seen him lose his temper.
I believe it.
He's
When he was high or
specifically-
when he got back down, I was like, I'm fucking
No, when he
somebody up.
felt that he was being like, as soon as he realized what was happening,
Oh.
like he went to 10 angry because it's just like he literally asked, "Is this?" And they're like, "No." He's like, "Are you sure? Is this?" And they're like, "It is not that."
Mm.
And then he did it, and then he was just like,
That's a trust thing too.
Yeah,
I feel
I don't
like
trust
that.
you no
like
more.
I can't fuck
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
No,
Just
yeah, that's
'cause,
what
like,
I'm saying.
If you're trying to play a prank, then don't put nothing in it and just be like it's a prank. But if you really do that and you trying to fuck with me, like that's some fuck ass shit. And I'm not saying I'm not in a controlled environment where I'm not safe. Like if y'all did that to me, I'd still be fucking mad at y'all because
Yeah.
like that's some hoe ass shit.
Yeah.
You know?
But on top of that, they eat these shrooms on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
How pissed
Oh my god.
and how fucked up are you gonna be now?
Yeah.
Like,
Because that's your whole blood. That's
you're
all.
gonna
That's
be-
all in you.
Yeah, you
"Your
have-
whole blood."
That's your whole blood. Like it's in your veins. That's what I was.
Yeah,
saying.
it's now it's like
yeah, it's just-
50-50.
it's just
Yeah,
like-
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing's like softening it up. Nothing's like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. They should have all threw their brains up. I believe,
Yeah.
Oof.
or all
And
liquid
hopefully,
anyways.
you're not laying down. You can die.
Yeah.
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 Wait, what?
I want to choke
How do
on.
you die?
You throw up and you swallow your
Oh,
vomit.
yeah, yeah,
It's
Oh
bad news.
shit!
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I never been on shrooms before like that, and
Like
I've
that. Either you have.
no,
it
I
or-
haven't been on it
Oh.
at all. But I always
That was a good question.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, but I've never been on it before, and I never wanted to try it because of how people told me they were. I was like, I
Yeah.
need to be. I don't like not being in control of my body like
yeah.
that.
That's why I don't like. I gotta have control. I'm a control person. Like I can't just be. I don't want to wake up for some shit and then somebody say like, "Oh, look at the shit you did."
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's
exactly.
Like, what
exactly.
the fuck?
Exactly.
Like, and that's with alcohol too. Like, I just
can't
don't
happen.
want to wake up in a
Exact-
fucking ice bath with my kidneys missing. Like, I just don't like. What the fuck? Why am I in Bangkok? Like, this is some dumb shit.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Ed does dose all her shipmates, and they all go on crazy individual trips. So
Hilarious.
Spike is just like about to go up some stairs, and then all of a sudden they get longer and longer and longer. Frog
Yeah.
he comes across a frog that tells him he's on a stairway to heaven. Another Led Zeppelin reference cam
Yeah.
over there. One guy in the room who knows about Led Zeppelin.
Hey, racism on.
Because you told me last week
Black
you were
History
like,
You
Month.
don't know if I know Led.
Yeah, you didn't know
Led
that.
Zeppelin at all?
Dang, no, but that's just not.
Yeah, you assuming all the black people don't know?
because you told me.
On Black
I know.
History Month
I-
with your white ass,
Damn,
Rob?
I've heard of Led
Wow.
Zeppelin. That's all I
That's
can give
crazy.
you.
I know the logo when I see it.
Exactly.
The,
That
the
is
Wow.
yellow lines.
The yellow lines.
He's
The
talking- he's
yellow,
thinking
the yellow
AC/DC.
font. No, they have a yellow. It's like lead and then Zeppelin. It's like two. Like they're stacked. The words are stacked on
Man,
top of each other.
you could have just
Yeah.
said I knew it.
Rob
and
said,
left it at
okay,
that.
shut the fuck up.
No, but it is. But
That's what that was.
I'm just
Okay.
saying, like,
It's not
describing a
wrong.
logo
Like,
doesn't mean you know
they're
something.
stacked on top of each other. They like
Is that what?
intersect. I'm not lying. I
No,
know what
you're
it
not
is.
Okay.
I'm just fucking
My
with you.
man Rob coming through.
Rob coming through on Black History
He
Month.
came
Shout
in
out
with
to
the
Rob.
Syracuse jersey. One time for that.
He did
who
come
is
out with
that?
a Syracuse jersey.
What's that?
Who is that?
Oh,
Probably.
it's 44. Like that's just the like the
okay.
lucky number. It's like
Wow.
it's a
It's a
retired.
Fat Mellow jersey.
No,
I
fuck
thought it was gonna be.
I do have a. I think he was number 5. Which is a shame because I usually like the players on the team that wear 5.
Yeah.
No, this is like.
Wait,
like
you say Mellow?
Fat Mel.
Fab
Mellow.
Mellow. He's
Oh.
which
Did
R.I.P.
he
to Fab
die?
Mellow.
I'm
That's a
sorry.
tragic
Yeah, he
story.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
sad, sad story.
Yeah,
Fab Mellow.
He's a big.
But anyway,
Came through with the jersey, the throwback.
yeah, man, I got this for my birthday.
That's dope.
Oh, okay.
We're playing
Yeah.
today.
You
We're
know, Rob
playing
gets
today.
everything for his birthday. Go ahead, Rob.
I got everything. What are you doing?
Good. Look at somebody hurt. Who hurt
Yeah,
you?
man.
You got some fly ass Jordans last year. What the fuck you
Right,
bitching
fuck
about?
outta
Oh man, that
here.
was so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some exclusive Jordans
I
at
didn't
that.
say anything about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you
talking about
talking
Rob.
shit on Kenny?
Yeah. So anyway,
Go
Where'd you
on
get your
before.
cake?
So
Oh, that
Spike's
was
on it.
Keenan was the one of
Yeah,
his
he was
feelings.
mad.
Okay,
He
that's
said
right.
that he was like, black people can't get their cake on time. I was like, Brendan and I got our cakes on time. We just,
I love you, Keenan.
it's all right.
Yeah. We'll see what happens this year.
Keenan looks so mad.
Let's
Okay,
see.
Rob, let's go.
So Spike's on his stairway to heaven. Meanwhile, Faye, she's in the bathroom still having, glued to the toilet seat. But when she starts to see a bunch of the water starts to rise, which is absolutely disgusting. If you think
Yeah.
about
That's
what's
like one of the
going on.
worst fears in life. The toilet backing up, especially if you're not at home. Like if you at somebody's house and that shit happens, that's one of my biggest fears.
Oof.
That reminded
Taking
me,
a shit at somebody
of
else.
one of our episodes of Bonfire Story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Nicole.
Nicole's
Yeah.
story.
That was such a good
Fuck
story.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I would die.
That was a crazy story.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with her. Meanwhile, Jet, he's just chilling with his plants. He's having a nice conversation, learning the secrets of the universe, putting lipstick on, feeling pretty.
That's how I picture people always getting high. And they be like, man, I just realized what life really is.
Yeah.
It's really just the universe inside your body. See, your body is actually the universe inside. And some stupid shit. Like, I don't know. I can't call it stupid. It might be the truth. I don't know. But
I mean,
those are all high conversations.
It was.
Here.
But
who would you have? Whose high experience out of those three would you have?
I'd want Jets.
Yeah,
honestly, if I'm gonna like talk with some plants and learn the secrets of the universe, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, that sounds deep.
Who had the worst one? I say Faye.
Faye, oh
yeah.
yeah. Like you're drowning or something.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't
Spikes
swim
didn't
either.
look that fun either.
Yeah.
Huh?
Spikes didn't seem.
I mean,
too
at least he
No.
burning calories. He just walking in place, like
Yeah.
you come down, meeting your rings,
Yeah,
your
Faye-
rings out and shit.
Faye would have freaked
Exactly.
me out because I can't swim, so I would have thought I was dying.
Yeah, that'd have been freaking.
I would
me
have
out.
died in
Deion Waiter
shit
shit.
shoulder water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pull the plane over. Another Syracuse guy.
yeah, Deion Waiter.
I'm like, oh man, Dion, come on, man, get it together. Anyway, so Ed sees them all tripping out and is just like, okay, so these aren't safe to eat. Glad that we got figured that out. But she's watching TV and she sees on the Bounty Hunter channel that, hey, lo and behold, Domino's got a bounty on his head. She's like, hey, I've seen this guy before. Let me go track him down. Maybe get us some money, get us some food.
Yeah.
So she goes to head on her own. Not on her own. She's got Einwether. They get on the scooter and they head into town. And meanwhile, back at the police station, you've got Pam Grier in interrogation. And like I said, these worst cops in the world, because this dude gets a phone call from his wife. Her cuffed keys are right there on the table.
Idiots.
He turns around for 2 seconds. She grabs him, hops in her car, and is fucking gone. Shaft, meanwhile, also sees Ed going by, and it's just like, all right, cool. Like, I'm on the case, following after her. Ed eventually tracks down Domino to his ship, where Domino's growing all his mushrooms inside, talking to him, almost like Jet and his bonsai trees.
Yeah.
Getting high on his own supply.
Maybe. And Ed busts in and is just like, hey, you're coming with me. And tries to like spray him down with some like stinky gas or something like that. And I'm like, I mean, dude, you're in like an enclosed space. What are you doing?
And you don't have a mask on.
Yeah.
Nothing. This was like no plan at all.
It's
for
been
this.
proven that Ed is slow. Ed is just it's not all the way there.
Right.
Or I don't know, maybe she's just like somebody calls it like an airhead in one of the episodes.
I think she's on a
That's what it
different.
is.
I think Ed's just on a different plane.
She's like a
It's
savant.
Like,
you know?
it's like some of those people that
Uh,
are so smart that they're just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like they're just so smart. They know their shit and they're intricate. That's like your English teacher doesn't know math. Like or your math teacher can't even write a complete sentence. That shit always blew my mind. Like how my English professor, anything outside of multiplication, fucking forget about it. But you got a PhD. Like,
Yeah.
that shit's
People
crazy.
like they min-max their stats. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just like all into math, all into English.
Yeah.
Yep. Either I'm dunking or shooting threes.
Yeah. So Ed's on the chase now. Domino's running a bag full of mushrooms in his hand, and at that point, Shaft does see them coming at him basically, and he's right next to a truck. This dude hauling his watermelons again, and with Ed coming at him. A train passes right by, and Domino grabs onto the back and takes off. Shaft ends up stealing the car, chasing after this train. Ed is also hightailing it on the back. Soon enough, you got Pam Grier chasing him in her drop top, and they're just trying to get this guy. Like he's running up the train on the run. He got everybody after him, and. I forget. I mean, at some point, Shaft is even like drawing guns on this guy, and shooting like grenades and everything at him.
He's going ham actually.
Yeah. But Ein grabs onto one of the bags and forcing him to drop it, and it causes then the bag hits Shaft. Shaft falls off the back of the train, falls into Pam Grier's car. They flip over.
This shit's
I don't know how they survived that.
I
shit.
thought they
That
were
shit-
dead, bro.
I was like, fuck, the black people died. God damn it.
Yeah.
I had that
I was-
exact.
man, I
I
was
had
like,
that exact
some,
thought.
some, some
Exact-
horror
yeah.
horror movie shit. Like we can't even make it through the whole shit.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
put us
damn.
in one. We only, these are one-offs, motherfucker. At least we're gonna
Right.
survive.
You can't give us one.
They do make it, but
Yeah.
they still look pretty foolish. So
Yeah.
bad look for those two bounty hunters. And then just Ed and Ein hot on the trail of Domino, and they're tracking him down, and but on the train tracks there's a cow on front, and the train slams on the brakes, sends them all flying. Domino lands on the track, Ed lands on Domino, and it's just like, you're caught. But Domino's pretty slick. He's just like, whoa, listen, like I've got like, I know, like $1 million or $2 million bounty on my head, but this bag full of mushrooms, you can sell each one of these for $100,000 a piece. Ed does,
yeah.
I mean,
sounds like a smart bargain right there.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I mean, so Ed's just like, I mean, hey, now I got all this other money. This is a win for me. So she takes it back to camp, thinking that's still the bad mushrooms. But and Jet and Faye, I think rightfully so, are pissed because they're like, how are we gonna sell this?
Yeah.
Number one, number two. Now we're in possession of all this illegal shit.
Right.
And while they're having this discussion, a cop rolls up and is just like, "Hey, we're looking for legal mushroom salesman. You guys seen anything?" And Ed's just like, "Oh yeah, we've seen some shit." They're trying to get her to just pipe down. Spike, meanwhile, walks out of the tent, bag of mushrooms in hand, and at first it seems like they're cooked.
Yeah.
Dry snitched on himself.
Yep.
Idiot.
And the cop just takes a look at him and is just like, "Oh, let me get a look at those." Turns out they're just shiitake mushrooms, just regular old mushrooms. It's just like, all right, this dude really likes his shiitake mushrooms. So it turns out they're not worthless because they can at least eat them, but certainly not worth the hundreds and thousands of millions of wooloos or whatever they were promised. So they got fucking worked again. But
wow, for the what episode is that?
17.
The
17th
17th
episode.
time. For the 17th fucking time.
But they're all on board. They got their mushroom stir fry, their mushrooms with rice, their mushroom, they got everything. And everybody but Ed is sick to death of eating them.
Yeah.
But it turns out Ein maybe gets the last of the bad mushrooms because he eats one and then gives one little hop.
Yeah.
And like maybe they still got a few fun ones mixed up in the bag.
Oh, it's gonna be fun when it happens.
With us four, who do you think would be like the person that would accidentally pull an Ed and snitch?
You mean a Spike?
No, like Ed, and you know how she was like, "Oh,
Out of us?
not snitching, like not like life or death, go to jail, no shit like that." I feel like we all solid in that.
You mean like dry
space.
snitch?
Yeah, like dry snitching stuff.
I'll say Ice.
No way.
I wouldn't think anybody here would say anything.
Yeah, I don't think nobody would either.
Well, you said if it had to be one of the four.
But
of
if
us.
it's a trick, I was a trick question.
Oh.
Trick question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna shoot at you.
That's
Well,
fine.
there
I would
it
never-
is.
That's wild.
Came right at you, man.
Brennan ain't gonna do no shit
That's-
around you, bro.
that's
He don't
what-
trust you.
That's
Well,
crazy.
no, I'm just saying if it had to be one of us.
I'm the most.
Go on.
Ah.
Go on, please. I was excited for that. I was like, oh, we about to learn. No arrogance here.
No.
So the next episode, episode 18, starts out Faye's at the racetracks, betting on horses, King's game. But back on the ship, we've got Spike, Jet, and Ed all hanging out. And Spike's fishing. Jet is telling Ed a story about a turtle and his treasure. I'm going to be honest, kind of went over
I
my
was like,
head.
what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Did not get it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to rewatch that one story for this, but I
Yeah.
didn't.
There
have
is
time.
online.
I got it when it came back.
Online, there's a bunch of breakdowns of this show. So I actually want to watch the when we're finished. I want to watch the breakdown when we do the last episode and see what we might have missed. Or
I'm
what-
sure there's
I feel like we
Yeah.
missed so many. I mean, I missed something that Rob's gonna point out in this episode that I was
Yeah.
just not even. I
So-
was like, oh my god.
So while Ed was, listening to the story about the turtle and his treasure, she just starts shouting, "Oh yeah, turtle!" And it turns out there is a drone making a delivery.
Hey.
Which actually, hey, Cowboy Bebop,
They're ahead of the
Ahead
game.
They called that.
One
They
thing I
called
do
that.
want to say, you were cold as fuck for putting that vicious stuff together that last episode.
That was pretty-
I was
yeah,
like,
right.
God
Which
damn,
part?
Okay.
What'd I do?
yeah, the stuff with Vicious and the transponder and the music box.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right,
That,
Brendan,
I mean, it
see
took
you.
the
I was like-
episode up though, didn't
I
it?
was like,
Yeah,
ah,
it did.
Okay, I see you.
But
Bald-headed ass.
so the this
Keenan takes a. Every time you do that, Keenan over here thinking too, like, yeah, you talking about Brennan, but I'm sitting here.
But
too.
I mean,
he has a beard
I don't.
that offsets his baldness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't have a beard. All
Yeah.
right, go on.
I mean, yeah,
What-
Brennan
is that a beard?
Brennan has a beard right now.
Yeah, I do.
It's
Barely.
not as luxurious as mine, but
No,
But,
it's not that big. But I mean, I've
that-
grown out my beard before.
Yeah, yeah.
like,
You have a foot like that?
It's
not-
not.
I've
just like
never
that,
seen- I've
but
never
it's
seen this
definitely a
one
full
before.
beard.
yeah.
I've definitely
wanna
grown a full
see it.
beard. Where
some older episodes of Droner.
yeah, I
He's
can
got
literally
the
pull up
beard.
a video
yeah.
and show
Okay,
you.
I need
yeah,
to
like,
see
I
it,
literally
yeah.
have like a. Yeah, I have a beard.
Everybody can grow a
Okay.
beard and hair except Ice.
That's all right.
Oh.
Y'all also like 15 years older than me too.
That's
So
true.
that's the difference.
Now we're 15 years older. That makes us in our 40s
Wow.
somewhere.
Damn,
ARP knocking on the door.
I didn't even see that shot coming at all.
Damn.
I was just like, damn, he coming at us. I'm just gonna defend myself. He's like, no.
Cam
He
has
can't
more.
do it.
Cam has more facial hair than Ice, and Cam's the youngest in here.
You see Cam?
You see
Cam
running?
running-
Cam
Cam
running
with
his
the
kid.
back.
Yo,
What's
see?
wrong with all
Y'all
that?
didn't see
Cam,
it.
if you're watching
That-
YouTube, this is what Cam just did. Oh, go back to there we go. He was like this.
That's not. You know what?
That's what he did. Cam
That's
literally
okay.
just turned around and did that.
I have my hair on the top is more luxurious than all four of you guys.
Okay, we'll
That's
see. You
true.
hit 35.
Yeah.
It's still there.
That's true.
It's gonna be there.
Okay, we'll see.
My shit, my car,
I thought
got,
I thought
my
the
car
same
got a
thing,
roof.
guys.
My car got
I
a roof.
I
Y'all
thought
drop top over here.
I thought the same thing, bro.
Car ain't got
I
no
was-
roof.
I was like, I ain't never going ball. I'm gonna have the big fro like Ice. And yep,
When did yours start going?
mine started going around my 24. So
Oh no, I'm still in the game. I'm past 24.
That's
Your party was done early.
so that's fine. All right,
We are out.
keep going.
I got no comment on this.
Yeah, you got a lot now. We'll just see.
What? How old?
I
were
said the
That's
same
why I
thing.
have no comment.
Well, how old were you?
Brandon went out
young.
early, I believe.
I was really
You
young.
was like
You went
what?
out
12?
earlier.
I was 19.
That shit. Sucks.
19 is horrible.
You was,
I at least had some
you
years.
was a
where-
sophomore.
Yeah.
I was a freshman.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Let's get back.
You. So you were receding in your senior pictures.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's brutal.
And I was on crutches my freshman year.
sick. That is sick.
I had a rough first semester in college. Like I was
That
on
is-
crutches and I had receding hairline.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You just.
yeah.
That is.
You had confidence?
No.
Okay.
That's why you doing
No.
this
I
shit
was about
now
to
because
say.
you're compensating for the
No.
person you were as a teenager.
Yeah, no way you had confidence
Yeah.
being bald at that age.
And
That's
balding on
that's tough,
crutches.
It was a tough time.
Jesus
It was a tough
Christ.
time.
It was a tough time.
You lived how others didn't then, so you live how they can't now. You know what I mean?
there it goes.
I'm with that. Keep up.
Yeah.
So while they're finishing up this story, Ed notices a turtle coming down, and it's the turtle delivery service. And I did mention to Brennan what I thought was interesting, as we'll find out, that this drone is delivering, the turtle drone is delivering a beta tape. What would have been much more helpful is if they had a beta player, which comes later, and it's a rabbit drone that's delivering the beta player. So it's a very tortoise and hare type
Yeah.
thing.
Did y'all
Yeah.
notice that?
I didn't realize that.
I didn't notice.
put it
I noticed the
together.
tortoise. I didn't notice the hair.
Yeah.
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 His rabbit delivery service. So anyway, they get this. So Jet gets the delivery here and has to pay the fee. Faye, fresh off of losing money on the horses, is just like, hey, like, what's up? Did I get an email? He's like, yeah, matter of fact, you did, and you owe me for the drop-off fee. And she's just like, oh, shit. Like, she immediately panics, thinks that's like debt collectors, some old enemy from her past, gets in her ship before Jet can even finish his sentence and is fucking off the ship and gone. And they're just like, well, what the fuck? Like, I guess we better look into this. So Jet's running some diagnostics on this thing, trying to figure out if it's like a bomb or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she left. But Spike, not afraid of anything, just tears that shit open. Is just like, I don't know what this plastic box is,
Right.
but for the rest of us, we all probably recognized it as some sort of tape.
Yeah.
It looked a little bit smaller than a VHS, which was, I guess, a hint that it's a beta tape.
Yeah.
It's not VHS.
Right.
But I'm watching Spike like pulling the tape out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Ah,
dude,
shit.
you're ruining it.
Yeah.
But they know they don't have any technology on the ship that can play it. So Ed ends up finding them somebody in the area that has like old 20th century technology that they can use to watch it.
Yes.
I thought Jet found him.
Maybe. I forget.
Yeah, I thought it
Somebody
was-
finds him.
Yeah, I'll say Jet was just like, yo, they'll buy. Jet or
Yeah.
Spike was like, they'll buy
Yeah, it's
anything.
just guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jet finds this guy, and they go check him out. And this guy's like watching old like 1990s like
Days of
soap
Our Lives.
operas, on his VHS, just like, oh, these 90s dramas.
Yeah,
just
so much
like
like,
that
better.
old school. Just they used to go to the camera like this. You'll see it on the YouTube when he's.
So they're watching that, and they're just like, hey, like, can you show us what's on this tape? He goes, oh yeah, and he gives them the history download, just like, this is a VHS tape, or I'm sorry, this is a beta tape. At the time there was beta VHS, but VHS ended up kind of winning the war. Which you guys know the story of that at all? It's kind of interesting.
I love this story. Please tell it.
So at the time in the 80s, like VHS and beta were two different kinds of like video video playback you could have.
I didn't
And
know that.
technically, beta was like a higher quality product.
Yes, it was.
But VHS was the one that became ubiquitous and the one that like what everybody ended up using.
So crack and cocaine, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason why they ended up going with VHS is
Why they
because
went
that's
with
what
crack. The reason they went with crack
is because that's what the porn industry went with.
That's
The
it.
porn industry went VHS.
So everything
and
else follows suit.
everything went VHS. And it was a similar thing. I was telling Brennan too. I used to work at a movie rental place. We had a porn section in the back.
Yeah,
And this was the time. This was like late 2000s. So this was when HD DVD and Blu-ray were like going at it.
Yeah.
And people were like asking us like, "Hey, like you had to have two different players at the time. Like if you were gonna have one or the other, like I'm not gonna get both."
Wasn't
They're like,
PS3 yet.
"What should we get?" And we're like, "Wait and see what the porn industry does, and then get that because that's exactly
You
what
were
happened."
y'all were serious.
Oh yeah, no, 100% serious.
Wow.
So
And-
which one did they do?
Bluray.
Blu-ray.
Oh,
Blu-ray,
okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what we
Blu-ray's still
got.
Here, yeah.
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 But,
Think of Blu-ray porn, huh?
I mean, HD man.
Gotta get that 4K.
So they didn't drop that little nugget of.
That was a double entendre.
They didn't drop that little history nugget on this guy's download, but they're watching the tape and we see what looks like Faye on the tape.
Yeah.
But before they get a good look at their face, the thing starts eating the tape, and Spike not
Spike
knowing.
fucking destroyed this whole situation.
Yeah.
I was so mad at him. I was fucking livid.
It's just thing. I don't mind him kicking it with a tap, but he kept going like an
He
idiot.
just was. He stumped a mud hole in that fucking.
Yeah. Because
After like two
the tape
kicks.
player.
honestly, kicking kind of does work sometimes.
Not on
Sometimes if you hit
VHS
something.
and beta players. It works on a
You know
car.
that. Nobody kicks something. You might knock it on the side
I
like a
fix
vending
it.
machine. Nobody just gonna full on kick the shit.
He,
switch
he
in,
put a
use the
fucking
shit.
hole through that.
And he wears
thing.
like clown shoes too. So it's like
He clown shoes.
he does. Like they're shaped
He
like clown
does. They
shoes,
do,
aren't they?
Yeah, them shits.
Yeah.
He resembles a clown now that you say it with his hair and everything.
Yep.
He does get
Yeah,
a
little
His
little
silhouette
sideshow
is a
Bob
clown.
action.
His silhouette is a clown silhouette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sideshow.
Yep. So so that breaks the beta player, and the guy's obviously pissed. They're back on their ship. That dude's still harassing them. Just like, all right, whatever, man. Like hanging up on him, and they're trying to come up with some other way they can figure out what's on this tape. So meanwhile, Faye's betting on dog racing now. It doesn't matter. So they're just like, all right, what are we gonna do? And I think this is when they're like, Ed, can you find something for us? And he finds that old museum back on Earth in Asia.
She finds.
She finds this old place back on Earth where it was like an old media museum. So they decide to head back to Earth, and they go diving down
They
into
went
some
through a
old
lot
shit.
of shit for that. Damn.
They
I mean,
really did.
And I'm glad that they acknowledged it too. They even said like, "This is a lot." Like all the shit after the rope breaking, I'm done. Like that's it. Like
You mean the elevator shaft?
yeah,
falling?
shaft.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's it. I'm going back.
They
For
went
a fucking
through it.
tape player.
That was actually a really interesting montage because it's like for me it was making me think about like when nature reclaims things, like what really happens. So it's like this building was full of water, it had a bunch of like plants in it. Everything was falling apart. It was a super dangerous place to be because it was not a place where humans should be anymore.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. And I guess from Jet's perspective, it's just like I paid like nearly $4,000 for this. I'm gonna find out what the fuck is on this tape.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's some Keenan shit.
Let's get to the bottom of
That's
it.
some Keenan shit.
If I
like,
paid that much
I
money,
have
we're
never
getting
met
this
like
shit.
a more like get my money worth person in my life. Like
Hey.
That's
he
real.
is the most like I make sure I get every fucking cent. I saw this movie. This movie was terrible. I'm taking all the fucking straws to make up the other $225 that I wasted.
It doesn't
like,
make any sense not to do that. I feel like that's the right way to do things. I'm sorry.
Fair.
I'm not mad at that.
What's your theory? Your going out to eat with a lady theory? If she don't eat it there.
Oh, if she doesn't pay, oh, that's my food.
Yeah.
You just
Oh,
taking
she
a
doesn't
dog,
pay and like
not
she
taking a
gets
doggy bag? No.
I went on a date one time with a girl.
What?
I went on a date one wtime with a girl who did that. Like went out. She was like, "Hey, do you mind if we go to this place?" And it was like a fancy restaurant. She was beautiful,
Of
And-
course.
of course.
Yeah.
And so we go out and like she orders like the second most. I want to say the most
She wants
expensive
like
thing.
surf
It wasn't.
and turf.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pretty much that. It was like the second most expensive thing on the menu.
Mm.
And then she sat there and she's like smiling and enjoying, like we're just talking. And I'm like, chick ain't eating.
Mm.
You know, and like she took like one small bite,
She
and
taking
then
it back to her
when it was like
boyfriend.
I was done
Yep.
eating, she was like, I like to have a bag. And I'm just looking like, and she boxed up the entire meal. It was like, thank you so much. And I was like, she took that back to her boyfriend.
Yeah, her and the dude
100%.
shared that.
Yeah, and I was
She
just
was looking for a free meal.
yeah, straight up.
Damn,
and
that's
then
what she got you in her,
and then she was
her
texting
phone
me.
saved as.
Yeah, I know, a free meal,
Yeah.
a snack.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she would hit me up like, yo, let's go out again and have some
No.
food. And I was just like, no,
I'm good.
Never.
I'm good. She said, well, my stomach is hurting. I want to see you again. I was like,
No,
yeah,
you
I'm
don't.
okay. I don't trust
I'm
it.
good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. So you taking it home?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
taking
yeah.
that shit home.
Mm.
I'm saying, could you
I would
box her-
love to be there. Like,
Could
at
you
the
box
next
this up
table.
for me,
Yeah.
please? Oh, I was gonna take. Nah, I'm gonna take that. I'm kind of hungry.
I
I'm
would
not-
love to be on the date
I
next to his date.
I want
Yeah.
to see that.
I was
Or- I mean,
thinking
we can't
something
see it no
completely
more,
different.
but-
I thought you were gonna be like, no, you're leaving that.
Yeah.
Like,
Or what I would do is I'll start eating it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm there,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I'll be eating with my fork. Because you're gonna take the bare minimum of that shit home. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like mayonnaise.
Even if
can
you
have-
full, you
whatever
still,
has mayonnaise
yeah.
on it, you can keep that shit. But
Yeah.
the rest of it,
She's
I'll
like
be
with the
eating.
mayonnaise bottle, just
It's
looking
like,
at you. in
Oh,
the
I'm
eye.
like,
yeah.
you bastard.
You gotta take it. You like mayonnaise at that point. Hey, I'm just gonna take. I love mayonnaise.
It's the best.
Just
take it.
being a petty motherfucker, I would just take the mayonnaise to the face. Pause. Like I just be
Yeah.
like, well, I gotta just eat this. Forget it. I gotta do this. Just all being pure and petty, man.
I believe you.
Take the
Absolutely.
I
mayonnaise
believe
to
you.
the face.
Yeah, that's a statement right there. Take the mayonnaise to the face.
Dude, these are all
Hey,
gonna come back.
Rob has lost his composure.
These are all gonna come back to haunt me. I already
Oh,
know.
oh,
Yo,
like what-
that's the moment, guys. Keenan, I mean,
That's the title
no,
for the show.
take the mayonnaise to the face.
Mayonnaise to the face. What?
Wow. Wow.
I mean, Cameron, you're gonna
Cam.
gift that, right?
Cameron,
You're
we
gonna
have to gift that.
Take the mayonnaise to the face.
You
Thank
know
you.
what?
Turn it into a gift. It's gonna be you just saying, I'm not gonna say it because we're gonna gift it. But you know the mayonnaise thing around this area.
Taking the mayonnaise. What? How was it last night, mayonnaise? Man, she took the mayonnaise
Mayonnaise to the
face.
face.
Oh, you guys are terrible. All right, go on, man, because I don't want to miss this last episode. This is the
All right,
best
so
episode.
How did that experience go? Man, I took that.
Sit on my face, girl.
damn.
So
So they get down there, they find what they think is a beta player, they get back up, and they're trying to
Ah,
force a
shit.
tape in, and turns out that shit just doesn't match out. And they're like, what the fuck? This is a VHS player. They're so pissed. They just give up at that point. But luckily for them, another package arrives, this time from the Rabbit delivery service. Should have been there first. Would have been super handy to have that first. But it is a beta player, and Faye shows up and is just like, "Oh, like let me get a look at that." And Jed is like, "No, you
No.
didn't pay for this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't watch it until you pay me back for that
You're on
delivery
punishment.
fee."
Again,
So-
Keenan shit.
They end up popping in the tape and they're watching it. She's actually, standing behind watching the whole thing, and turns out it's basically a time capsule that she had recorded way back in the day, and we find out just how long ago
Yeah.
Faye was actually like a young woman and
Wild.
running
Yeah.
around. Like
She old as fuck.
she is very old at this point. I think this is supposed to take place in like what
2020.
2020. I thought it was supposed to be like 2070.
No, it was 2020.
Oh, okay,
2021.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean she's at that point getting up there. She's like,
The fuck did they have? They don't
She
got no
like
damn
seven.
beta players in 2020. They missed the mark.
So-
Go ahead.
so they so yeah, she ends up watching that, and so for somebody that we know had just recently like tried to let go of her past and then gets to
Yeah.
see herself for the first time and see that she was, in a way always supporting herself. It's an emotional thing for her, and she gets to see that she's kind of getting emotional as the episode
And
ends.
she don't even remember the shit.
No,
Nah,
not at all.
no, but
That's
that,
that
how sad
amnesia.
would that be though? Like
Yeah.
if you were like watching yourself, give yourself positive reinforcement, cheer yourself on from that time, and be speaking the way
Man.
she was. I mean, if I was saying that to myself and I was watching it, and I didn't even remember doing that, but I knew it was me.
I would have cried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have done the same thing. she
And you
did.
got to think about too. What I was thinking about was like think about the person she turned out to be.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she was so encouraging,
Yeah.
like positive.
and just
And then
like
she
where,
just turned
I think
into a
that'd be a
just-
thing. Like where the fuck did I go?
No,
wrong?
I
can
know
see
we
that
know
too.
where we went wrong. The doctor episode when they brought her out and like
Yeah.
that stupid guy, like the lawyer, she was pretty much brought out of the coma.
She
Oh,
got
yeah.
So
conned.
con
She got
artist.
scammed.
Yeah.
She literally
Yeah.
the only thing she knew in life was con artists.
Yeah.
It's like she never stood a chance.
Yeah, you got to wonder if she's even just like, man, I wonder if she would still support me if she knows what I had done. You know what I mean?
She wouldn't.
Nobody. So
Just let
she
you know,
definitely wouldn't, yeah.
old Faye, young Faye wouldn't be fucking with
And
you.
none
right
of
now.
them, none of three of them are humans, really.
That's a
like
good
that.
question.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever like think back to like your 12 or 13-year-old self,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and what they would think of you right
yeah,
now?
sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why do we value that opinion? Because I mean, that for me, that was like the time of my life, if I had to guess why I value that opinion, is that was the time of my life where I really started to think about the future, think about what I wanted. And I probably had the strongest opinions of my entire life when I was like 12 and 13.
Yeah.
That's an emotional question for people. It's like, what would 12-year-old you tell you now? Like, would the 12-year-old you be proud of you?
Yeah, I
and
think
it's like, fuck. Like, that's like,
I don't know.
that I feel like that fucks with a lot of people because it gets them thinking about like all that they did and what they wanted to be when they were 12 and a
Yeah,
young
you have a lot
person.
of
It's like,
expectations.
fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people want to be an astronaut and then end up working at fucking Denny's? No disrespect to people that work at Denny's, but that's a far cry from
We
fucking.
just lost all our
being
Denny's fans. Sorry.
I mean, hey, moon's over my hammy. I'll eat that shit.
Yeah.
Don't want to yuck your yams.
Yuck my yam. That's not even it.
Mayonnaise on the face, yucking yams.
I don't know. Whatever you said, whatever it's called.
No, he
Rob.
said,
Ick-
no, let me
I want
get
to
it.
ick your
He
yuck.
Yuck your yuck.
Yuck your yuck.
Yuck my yum.
Yuck my yum. Yeah.
Yuck my yum.
Damn.
Yeah, I was wrong, too.
Hey, yo,
Open
correct
up
me
here.
wrong, fucking Brennan.
I went for
Yam
it.
your jelly.
Yick my ick.
Yuck my ick.
Damn, man. they
Rob,
don't-
where were we? God damn it.
So this next episode, Spike is broken down on some planet somewhere. I think they're somewhere. No, I don't even know where they are. He's broken down
Fucking
on some
Tatooine.
moon somewhere. He went to go get his ship fixed, the swordfish, and on his way to it, it fucking overheated and blew out. So he calls up his old boss to try and help him out, and his boss sends his assistant Miles, and Miles picks him up and seems to be a very energetic young man. Pissed off, and Spike's immediately pissed because he can't smoke in this dude's car.
Yeah. How many lives has Spike lived?
I know, right? Like, where does this
Fuck.
fit in after like his crime syndicate
Right.
years, right? So
It must have been when Vicious was on Titan. That's when he was.
yeah, maybe
what
he
he-
was
that
he was
was
working
it.
in the garage,
Yeah.
fixing up cars. But while he's getting picked up and brought over to his old boss's place, up in orbit, you've got Faye, Jet, and Ed and Ein. They're laying a trap for their most recent bounty. Turns out this group of pirates have been basically jumping on people who have been broken down, stealing their ships. And so they're pretending to have a broken down ship. They've got Faye out there, just kind of adrift. Meanwhile, you've got Jet and everybody, trying to keep eyes on it. And when the pirates do eventually show up, they spring the trap and like they have all their like ships trying to run around these guys and bring them down, bring them in. But these pirates have got a pretty, interesting plan. They've got basically this old shipping truck all rigged up with these different harpoons that shoot out, and if they get into your ship, they upload this virus that completely just like fucks your shit up,
Yeah, it's a wrap.
shuts the whole thing down.
That's
Faye's
the whole operation. Damn.
Faye's ship starts shooting off missiles and bullets and can't control where it's going. The Bebop itself is just totally dead in the water, which Ed is on board piloting the Bebop, and she's supposedly a master hacker.
This made me so mad.
And I'm like, how are you not able?
I was like, this is your time to shine.
I
I thought
agree.
she was about to turn up, and she didn't.
I thought Ed was going to just like reverse the virus. Like,
Yeah. I
thought so,
"And
too."
back to you.
Yeah.
But nothing. But
Nothing.
so they're totally fucked up. The pirates end up getting out of there without a problem. And meanwhile, the crew of the Bebop is dead in space, trying to figure out how the fuck they're going to fix their issues. Meanwhile, back down on the planet, Spike gets over to his old boss's place, and he's just like, "Hey, man, long time no see." Yeah, that's just the only thing the guy says.
Just a hard ass this whole fucking episode.
I like
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I do
I
like.
mean,
I like him too.
Immediately, he's like, "What have you done to my ship?" kind of thing, like giving him the riot act. He's fixing it up, and Miles, the new guy, is just like, why are you even hanging on to this old ship? Like, this is totally out of date. Like, this doesn't have any of the new stuff on there. And the boss said something interesting. He's just like, this gives you control. Do you want to be driving? Do you want to drive the machine, or do you want the machine to drive you?
Right.
Which is like what every person who drives standard instead of automatic is what they say pretty much.
Yeah.
That's not real driving. And if you're driving automatic,
Do all y'all know how to drive a stick?
Yeah, I know I drive a stick,
don't
but
know,
fuck
yeah.
it.
sort of, kind of.
My car is a stick.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm
Cam,
cool.
you know how
I'm
to
cool.
drive a
I'm
stick?
cool in traffic, bro.
Cam's like, fuck no, I don't know how to drive. That's what I got over you.
I'm with Cameron. I'm just like, I can drive stick, but like,
What's the
that's
point?
just a modern convenience. Like,
Yeah.
why would I bother at this point?
No, it's just it's a little bit cheaper in the price, but in California, there's no point. And then if you're
Yeah.
living in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, with hills, that's
Ooh,
the dumbest shit
crazy.
ever.
yeah, that
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
because
hell no.
especially when you at a light and you just stop right there up there.
I'll plan
That
it.
shit. That's like 3 gears or at least 2 gears you got to do this to get out that
Yeah.
shit.
Fuck
That shit's crazy. Well, shout out to Kobe Bryant, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. But this made me think of it because he was the first person, because his wife, Vanessa, didn't know how to drive a stick. So he made her the first ever automatic Lamborghini.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought that was
That was Shaq.
that was Tracy McGrady.
No, it was Kobe.
McGrady did, or he did like a Ferrari or something like that. He did something to where he did the same thing. He
Yeah,
turned it into an automatic.
Kobe did that with the Lambo. But yeah, that's some dope ass. That's some dope ass shit. That's some, the power
But Tracy
of a
McGrady's a
woman.
man. So first lady. I'm sorry, I'm
You
an
said-
idiot. And you said Shaq. We're both idiots.
Yeah. You said what?
Cause you said first lady to do it.
Anyway.
All right.
You said first woman.
I'm
to,
lost.
To have the
Yeah,
automatic.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we said.
No, I
we
thought
named
Shaq
two
did it
dudes.
for his wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
But so anyway, we've got the swordfish is broken down. They're waiting on a specific part, and Spike's old boss's contact shows up, and he's just like, "Hey, I got just the parts you need, and for dirt cheap."
Yeah, fuck
Meanwhile,
around.
Spike's on the phone with his people back on the Bebop, and they're just like, "Yeah, we just got fucking robbed by these pirates," and they're having this conversation simultaneously. It turns out this guy got the cheap parts from the same people that are stealing the parts from
they
the
said
ships they're taking.
Did they said something at the same
It's a
time.
purple penguin.
Purple penguin. They was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And they looked at each other like, hold up.
And everything aligns. So meanwhile, Spike gets back to the ship, and Jet's he's this point, he's on the black dog shit. He's got an axe to grind. He can't let it go. He's trying to convince Spike to take on the job with him. He's just like, hey man, you got to pay off those repairs on your ship, so you may as well help us out with this. So they end up figuring out that, yeah, these guys are pretty smart. They're basically hiding as a legit delivery service,
Yeah,
as a
smart dudes.
legit trucking service, and trying to hide in plain sight. So what they do is they go to a truck stop and wait for one of these ships to show up with the purple penguin on the side, but two show up at the same time.
Yep.
And so their plan on how they're going to suss it out, who is who, is just start shooting and see who runs.
And of course, everybody runs.
Because, nobody wants to get shot.
yeah.
I'm the right person, so I'm gonna stay still. Like, I know I've done no wrong. Let me stay still.
We didn't expect this. No, that's
Yeah.
the only thing you didn't plan for. These fucking
Yeah.
Spike and Faye, but they went after him. They
So-
started going, yeah.
Yeah, and Faye chases after one, Spike goes after the other. Turns out Spike is after the right one. Faye pulls up on these two dudes that are just like, please don't shoot us. Like, we're sorry we didn't pay the toll,
right,
as
the
we were
parking
coming in.
fee,
The
yeah.
parking fee, yeah. So they're headed after him, and then the pirates go right back into their same routine where they're shooting out these harpoons with the virus. And Spike gets hit a couple times, but manages to switch off his computer. Kind of throw back to that episode with the satellite where he's able to pilot
Yeah.
a ship without the computer navigation. But they end up throughout the action, they end up getting these guys to shoot themselves with their own harpoon. They lose complete control of their
Chatterbob.
ship and start plummeting down to earth. And Spike, now dead in the water, even though they've been able to stop these pirates, is now burning up into the Earth's atmosphere. And he tells Jet, hey, there's a bottle of whiskey behind the fridge. It's on me, man. I don't think I'm coming back from this. He lights up a cigarette, ready to go down.
That's always the last death
Yo,
move.
he
Yeah.
was
Like,
such a G for that though. Like he wasn't.
Cigarette.
Yeah, the cigarette thing is last. But I was like, he was such a G. He's like, oh, I'm about to die. So I'm light the cigarette and Spike.
Yeah.
Drinks on me, fam.
Not his
Yeah.
first time, I guess.
Yeah.
No, not his first time. But I thought that was classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, Spike's like, I'm going down, so
He ain't no hoe.
Somebody
Have
got
a
to
drink,
drink
bro.
it.
So
Yeah.
be it. But down on the planet itself, Miles, who's been listening to his favorite baseball team, the Blue Sox, on the radio, manages to catch the transmission. Which, how fucking lucky is that?
Yeah.
But
What a
he
swinky dick.
goes and tells his boss, yo, they're in trouble. We got to get up there. The only ship that they've got is this old 1980s NASA shuttle. Yeah, that literally hasn't taken off in decades.
Yeah.
And his boss is like, well, no time like the present. Try and see if this thing flies.
Yeah.
And they managed to get up there. And I think
I thought that shuttle was
for it.
really interesting because when they first showed it, I was like, what's that red stuff on the front of it? I've never seen that. And then when I went to go take off, there was these those tubes, and they use the tubes in the front of it to push the nose up so they don't do a direct vertical takeoff. Because normally a space shuttle gets launched on a missile that goes straight
Right.
up.
Yeah.
And side note, remember I told you guys I like physics last episode. One of my favorite things I learned about space shuttles that was physics-wise, I was just like, I always would be so curious to why we take space shuttle, why we take off the way we do with a space shuttle. Because with the airplane, we don't do that. You do a runway, you go really fast, and you go up.
Yeah.
With a space shuttle, you point that thing straight up, and you just go really slow straight up. And I was like, why don't we do like a slingshot or something from the ground? Like, why has it got to be so slow? And my physics professor was like, because of resistance, wind resistance. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, that space shuttle and that rocket are so big that if it was moving that fast, it would take exponentially more energy to make it move that fast than have it move slow and get up to the place with the thin air and then start going fast. So we purposely take off space shuttles really slow in the low atmosphere and have it move really slow simply because the air is so dense at the surface that the friction would stop it or make us use up way more fuel than what we do otherwise. Right?
Yeah,
Sorry. For me, I was just like, when I heard that.
So they do make it up into the air, and
Y'all
like
didn't care.
these are
Y'all
Y'all
didn't
didn't
care.
interesting.
That's
That's
Y'all
interesting.
didn't
That
care.
was
Whatever.
such an effort.
No, I ain't explaining nothing no more.
You put such an effort in there. We're just kind of like, so episode 19.
Yeah, I was just like, y'all could have said that was cool. I never would have thought
I
it.
said,
hey man,
shout
I'm
out
trying to get
Isaac
through
Newton.
this so we can get to the last one.
Yeah,
before
that's-
people
yeah,
go
that's
out.
all it is.
Rob was just like,
Rob wasn't
like I was saying.
Yeah,
I
Rob wasn't
I
fucking
low-key
with
want to
it.
get to the last episode before I have to leave. That's
Rob-
all.
trying
Rob
to get
wasn't
to
fucking with it.
Nah,
I
go
think
ahead,
Keenan
man.
and I was fucking with it. Rob,
I
he
thought it
wasn't
was
fucking with
interesting.
it.
So they get the space shuttle up in the air, and then these things, I think they used to be and are still used for like satellite repair. So they have this space in the back of them that's empty for bringing on damaged ships and satellites. So they open that thing up, and they're like, all right, Spike, see if you can slow yourself down enough to try and get in here. And he ends up hitting a few things on the way down just to try and slow himself down. Takes off both wings on the swordfish, but manages to land the thing.
That
But
shit was smooth though.
it was crazy. But as he thinks they're safe and they're closing the door back up, and his boss is just like, actually on the way up, I guess it wasn't such a smooth takeoff because all of the like heat resistant panels blew off. So we're about to burn the fuck up coming back into the atmosphere. And Spike immediately goes back to his cigarette and just starts lighting it up.
That was tight. I like that.
But they end up making it safe. We see their picture
I
up
thought
on
that
the
was a
up on the
dope
board.
way to do the landing, like to show that they made it.
Yeah,
the
showing them
picture.
at the
Yeah,
picture.
that was dope.
That was cold.
So this last episode in this stretch, I'm trash with French, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce this episode. Like Pierre I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, this episode was dope as shit.
Yeah.
This episode
Can I
was the
talk-
dopest of the four.
This might be the dopest episode of the whole
I think
show.
This is my
for me.
favorite episode. I agree.
Yeah.
Of all
Yo,
of them, yeah.
can I, like the opening scene. May I?
Go for it. Yeah.
Yo, I love this opening scene because it pretty much like what's the first thing you see, Rob? It's those guys walking a guy out into like a dark alley, right?
Yeah, getting it like bodyguards.
Yeah,
putting somebody
bodyguards
into
and a guy walking out.
high
And then-
value target.
And then like you kind of hear like a rustle, like something's like around. They all get kind of nervous, and it's like moving really quick. It's like a shadow. You're like chasing a shadow, and then a guy like looks like the penguin in a top
Yeah,
hat.
that's what I thought. I thought it was a penguin too.
Yeah, he looks like the penguin in a top hat. Just shows up, and he's so polite. He's like, gentlemen, and he like tips his hat to them. He's like, I've come to take your lives.
Yo, anybody in a top hat, bro.
That's it.
Anybody in the top hat,
Throwing
you know
hands.
they got the business. They got
Throwing-
a gun in their hat
Yeah.
and a gun in their cane.
Yeah.
Out the gate.
My man is throwing hands.
And out the gate, he just murders.
Yeah.
Slaughters them.
Slaughters them.
It's not even close.
I'll say this to Rob. What I said to Rob earlier is that this character moves unlike any other character I've ever seen in anything.
Yeah, it's weird.
The
It was
way that he
crazy.
moved, I first of
Yeah.
all loved it.
Yeah.
But like just you know what I'm talking about, like
It
how
was
he would
smooth.
like
It was like dancing,
float,
like
stuff
he was
like
yeah,
that.
it's like
Yeah.
floating, but then like also like quick, but then
Yeah.
also like upside down.
Yeah.
You know, in straight lines, but also like it was
He
just
was like
Yeah.
he's like a balloon with the air let out. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
like,
Yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
you couldn't
But
see where you would
controlled.
go. Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy, and I'm just like
Meanwhile, like, and he's standing in the middle of this alleyway, no cover,
Yeah.
just gunning these dudes down, and he's totally fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then of course after he kills these guys, Spike just like out here chilling, just walks down the alley.
Finishing up
Well,
a game
he
of
saw
pool.
him. He saw him,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
Bro,
oh,
Spike,
shit.
step your ass back into the other part of the alley where you came from.
Yeah.
Well,
Spike
first
was
of
like,
all,
"Oh."
Spike,
He was just like-
we know you heard them gunshots. Number
Come
one.
on,
Yeah.
bro.
Number two, my man, if Spike was black, I would have been over this show at this moment.
Oh,
because-
yeah,
Because you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Mm.
Because he's just like, hello, boy.
Yeah.
I was like, woo,
Whoa,
he
yeah.
dropped
Shit.
that like we was
Yeah.
south of the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I was like, yo, the way he said boy, and then he keeps using it throughout the whole episode. Like,
Yeah.
hello, boy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is like Major Pain boy.
Right,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
You got-
It's Major
Yeah.
boy.
That's that Confederate boy.
Yes.
And then they started to go at it.
He
and,
dropped that.
And he
He tried to. Spike tried to give him the hands.
He did.
Yeah, he was like.
They go off gun wise.
He tried.
Couldn't when he shoots a bullet at him, it stops. Like his
There's like a green force
Yeah.
field.
yeah, it force field stops him, and then they start scrapping, and he's like kicking Spike in the air
he
multiple
is fucking
times.
Spike up. Like,
This
Yeah.
is the first time Spike caught physical
and
hands.
it looked
Yeah.
like
Other
it
than
looked
from
super
Vicious.
choreographed.
Vicious,
Yeah.
yeah. And it reminded me kind of like for some reason I felt like this is like Tekken, like a Tekken
Yeah.
character. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like the way Spike was getting kicked
Yeah,
into
it
the
felt
air.
like,
Yeah.
you know, what you ever played, like, do you remember your first time playing Eddie in Tekken?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like.
Yep.
If you've
The
ever
capo-
played
the
Tekken,
capoeira?
yeah, if you've ever played Tekken before, and the first time you play somebody who uses Eddie well,
Oh my god.
it's the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't hit the
everybody
gra-
remembers that. You remember
you don't
where
hit
you
the
were.
ground.
Yeah.
You don't hit the ground. You just stay getting kicked in the air.
You're like, what is this? I don't understand.
That's like Smash Brothers.
It
yeah,
can be.
when
Yeah.
you play
Yeah.
when you play me, yeah.
All right.
Ah,
whatever.
All right.
Hey, I'm just saying, anybody
Yeah,
still
he's-
can
he's
get the
pretty
smoke
good, yeah.
in Super Smash Brothers.
So Spike
Anybody.
is
Yeah.
getting absolutely
you,
worked.
Rob.
Yeah.
He's getting absolutely worked. And this dude's got like they're drawing him. He's got his cane gun pointed at his face, and Spike's just lucky enough that a cat walks down this alley and distracts this dude, and he fucking freaks out.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just terrified of cats.
Starts unloading on the cat. Spike takes his moment to try
It's
and
a
get away.
terrible sin.
Throws the barrel of like propane at
That
him.
just
and-
happened to be next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Shoots
a
it up.
fucking barrel
Of propane that
Yeah,
was red.
and I buy a club. Like, where's just a red? And it's just like, oh, that's ridiculous.
So he shoots it, it blows up, and they both like Spike outruns the explosion for the most part. He still gets messed up from it.
Yeah.
And our penguin guy is unscathed,
Totally fine.
totally
Yeah.
unscathed. But they both, but Spike escapes.
Because that guy chasing him down reveals he's got a whole arsenal in his
gun.
fucking
Yeah.
jacket.
He's like, oh, you thought that I was done, boy?
Yeah.
Nah.
Pulls out a
Nah,
grenade
see?
launcher and like Spike barely gets away, like
Yeah.
jumping into the water, and that dude just like takes off, floats off into the fucking air.
Like fucking Mary
See you
Poppins
later.
or
Yeah,
some shit. He's
exactly.
just fucking.
Nah.
Terrifying.
All right, guys, I gotta go, man. Shit.
Damn.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you two gentlemen can carry this for the rest, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
we'll
we've
figure
done
it
it
out.
before.
I'll give my
Act-
rating on the. I don't think you have done. Have you done before by yourselves? You got to?
Yeah,
they
Rob
got
and I've
this.
done it.
Okay.
I think so.
All right,
We've
y'all
had
handle
every
it.
combination of people almost, except myself and
We'll
Brennan.
give you our rating on the next episode, man.
Yep.
Sorry about that, guys. We'll see
Why don't you
y'all.
just say it?
I got to think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
What?
Hey, Cameron,
I feel like I'm at the Breakfast Club right now. This Birdman leaving.
I'll give you my rating.
going
What was my
on?
rating last time? I think it was like
All
I was
three of y'all.
6,500 or something. Oh, he's looking for it. But while he's looking for it, you can find me at on the gram at Ask Mr. Producer Face.
What was mine?
66. I'm gonna go 6,400.
That's entirely too damn high.
I'm gonna give a 6,300 for this one, and this last episode was I'll give a 7,000 by itself. 'cause it was-
I agree.
it was fire.
Y'all,
Yeah, the last
y'all
episode
are
was incredible.
smoking dick.
That won't get you high. Anyway,
That's to get your mayonnaise on your face.
oh my god.
I still have hair.
So the next day, Spike's laid up in the bed back on the ship, just like he was after that fight with Vicious. He's all wrapped up. Faye is being a complete bitch. Is just
Yeah,
like
of
dropping
course.
orange peels on his head.
He put that on. That pissed me off. Like, he already fucked up. He already fucking mummified. You just gonna drop an orange peel on his ass?
No, man.
Get some vitamin C straight from the
Heal up.
source. Peel
Yep.
up.
So she doesn't even feed him one. She just eats that shit. Ugh. Yeah. So
That's what I don't like her. I don't.
well, she does a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Later on, she
yeah.
does some things to help out. But Jet, meanwhile, looking out for his guys, talking to his contacts, just like, all right, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So he talks to one of his cop contacts, and he's just like, hey, man, like, they're trying to keep this under wraps. Like, as long as you don't tell anybody that I told you this,
Right.
like, here's the scoop. So he tells him that this guy is named Mad Perot, and that he's this crazy assassin that was experimented on as some part of some program, and now he's out there just trying to get like revenge on all the people
That
that
did it,
that had done it to him, like that. And we find out a little bit more later, but for now, that's all we know. And he's just like, dude, it's bad luck for your friend
Yeah.
because nobody that's ever seen his face has lived. He's the only one, so you know this guy's gonna be coming for him.
Yeah, he can. He said those that do escape him, he fucking finds them.
Yeah, he just hunts them down.
And
And
they cut to like a scene of where he found somebody and
just put that dude's like head through a fucking fence.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. And it killed all his 4 henchmen. He was rolling deep, and then
Man,
pulled up with it.
there doesn't seem to be any number of people that can protect you from this guy.
'Cause I
Because
was
the
thinking
guy at
too,
the
I'm-
beginning of the episode too, he had
Yeah.
like 3-4 guys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, what if just like everybody in the world just came, and he probably still would have got him.
No, I mean, he's practically invincible
Yeah.
until like basically this last fight. But back on the Bebop, Spike's healing up and getting there, but they get an email. Edward's checking it out, and it's an invite to Spike from this dude telling him, "Hey, I want to party with you, man."
Yeah, that was the weirdest invitation to a duel.
Yeah, come on to Spaceland. Basically invites him to Tomorrowland from fucking Disney World.
Exactly. Hey, you want to come to see? That's some Baki shit.
It reminded me a lot of Baki.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Baki.
Just pull up to the fucking amusement park for the fight.
Yeah.
Who did that? Was that Spec?
No, it wasn't Spec. It was the big American dude, right?
Oh, yeah, because he was riding the rides and shit.
Dorian was his name? Yeah.
Who practically, it was his show. It wasn't Baki. They needed to
That
change
was-
that show to Dorian.
Yeah, that was his season entirely. But Faye, he sees this email. Ed is showing her and sees that it's for Spike, and she's just like, "Yeah, you can't tell Spike about this because he'll go, and that will be his ass."
And Spike's like, tell me what?
So I can at least sort of respect Faye here because she's clearly like, she's starting to look out for these guys. Like she is now starting to come around a little bit. But
20 episodes.
20
in.
episodes in.
20 out of 26 episodes. You
She's-
stop being a dick.
So he's just like, Spike, once he finds out about it, he's just like, all right, I'm going. Like, I can't pass
I'm
this
pulling
up. I mean, he's not a guy that's just going to take some shit like this laying
Shout
down.
out to Spike for that.
I mean, yeah. So he goes to Spaceland, and it's exactly like Baki. Like the shit starts turning on.
Yeah.
Like there's the Ferris wheel, like all these different rides, and there's Perot, like just at the top of things, just like, yo, welcome.
Yeah, well, hello. You're so welcome.
Ready
You
to
are
party?
Very welcome.
And
Yeah.
shit gets started immediately. Like starts firing off like rockets, bullets. They're running from ride to ride.
Yeah.
He's hiding in like this penguin luge ride.
That
and
shit
almost
made
gets-
me mad that they was like, you're not safe. That little fairy came up on him like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're not safe and you need to move. And then the penguins kept coming and he came on the penguin.
Yeah. I mean, that guy. This is like, come on, man. This is not the time for the safety protocol. Like, I'm
Right.
fighting for my life here. I'm not safe at all.
Right.
Even being in this park. But Jet gets back to the Bebop and is just like, Ed, I need a favor from you. Like, do some master hacking shit. Look into the, some of they call it Section 13. It's where the public, the police stores, public, knowledge they want to keep from the public, rather. And
What's that movie? Oh, District 9.
District 9, yeah. Good movie.
Yeah, it's a decent movie.
I like that one.
it, yeah.
But Section 13, like, could they think of a more suspicious name, like, for
Yeah.
something like they want to keep public eyes away from? I don't think so. But what they end up finding out is that this dude was part of this crazy assassin program where we knew before he was an assassin program, but he was like number 7 of like all these crazy different experiments to make
Like
him
56
bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah, this gave me like, I know, like, definitely looks like the Penguin, got some Joker vibes, but this gave me strong like V for Vendetta vibes.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
they
yeah.
experimented on him,
Yeah.
and then he went nuts and decided that he was going to go after the people that created
did
him.
that, yeah.
Because once they shutter the program, like, they end up putting him in some asylum, and he just breaks out, and they show that he murdered fucking
He
everybody.
painted the walls
Yeah.
with blood.
And he's just been on a revenge tour ever since then. And once he
Looking
got
for
his,
revenge.
once he got it too, like, he's just now killing for fun. He's
Yeah,
the,
it's like-
the all this like crazy stuff that they did to him made him totally revert into the mind of a child.
He's a little kid.
And he's just a little kid that is invincible, that can kill.
yeah.
Which we saw how that worked out,
With
like
the-
a bunch of episodes earlier,
with
like
the
a
Benjamin
kid,
Button. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like almost like an exact
I was the
opposite.
opposite. I was just about to say that. Yep.
Old man with the mind of a child, vice versa. But back in the Spike at the theme park is still in a crazy fight with this dude.
Yeah.
And is getting like whipped around
Yeah.
his
His
neck and
salad
pulled out of the
tossed tonight.
fucking like
Yeah.
roller coaster cars and shit
Yeah.
like that.
He had him tough on the roller coaster car.
Yeah.
He fucked Spike up.
He did.
Yeah.
Blew him up and grabbed him out of the car like that. I mean, how Spike is not dying
I don't know.
through any of this is
He's not.
insane.
I'm convinced Spike is not a human being.
I don't think he is.
Yeah.
And one of the things that kind of hints at that, even in this episode, is while we're seeing those flashbacks of him in the genetics facility or whatever, one of the reasons he's freaked out about cats is there's a cat watching him the whole time with like weird eye stuff.
Yeah, two colored eyes. Two different
colored
color
eyes.
Yeah.
Which maybe that cat's a genetic experiment, something like that. I don't know. Cats also do have two colored eyes sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, people do too, I guess.
Yeah. My
But
grandpa does actually.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What colors?
It's blue and brown.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
So they're getting their fight on, and Faye actually shows up.
Yeah. She
Like,
pulls up with it.
finally.
20 episodes in.
Finally
the last
shows up.
2 minutes of the 20th episode. Buzzer beater.
Just when Spike needs her, he's
Right.
dead to rights. There's this crazy like parade coming down Main Street, with all these huge like mascots and whatever. And Faye comes in hot, like shooting, and shoots up this like giant teddy bear thing. But like all of the debris like ends up crashing down on her, bringing her down. Sends everybody's flying.
Did
Spike-
this part give you Akira vibes?
a little
But it's
bit?
like when which is still to this day one of the most wicked parts of an anime.
Oh,
that
that's
I've
one of the
seen.
other picks I had was Akira. Yeah.
when he's sitting in the bed and it's like boo boo boo, whatever them
All those
and
like
it's
teddy bears
and then
come
they
out.
start like I was like, yo, what the fuck? Because I was like when we watched it I was like half asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, it's like boo boo, like whatever that noise was fucking creepy.
That soundtrack was
and
creepy.
then they just coming in just as this big ass giant fucking bear. I was like, oh, fuck
and then they
that.
start like melting. And shit.
Yeah, I was like,
Ugh.
help me. I was like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah, no, with all those like huge mascots, and at one point Spike like turns around and thinks one of them is Perot and starts beating the shit out
he
of it.
fucked that. It was like a donkey or something.
Yeah, it looked like
a
Goofy or something.
Yeah.
It was something weird, but yeah, that got very strong Akira vibes from that. That's a good call. But while Spike is laying in the debris from Faye's crash, Perot is coming over to finish him off. Once again, kind of like in the alleyway, got him dead to rights.
Right.
When this cat toy falls from the shelf and starts meowing, and he flips out again and just pumps it full of bullets.
Yeah.
Spike takes that moment of distraction to try to pull out his gun, but Perot shoots it out of his hand. And while he's giving him his last speech, the villain monologue speech.
like Tony Baker.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that was my plan all along.
Right? I wanted to mess up the water supply.
Exactly. So while he's giving his speech, Spike's reaching behind him. He's got a knife tucked in the back of his pants. And they draw down on each other, and Spike gets hit in the shoulder, the glancing blow, but he tosses the knife, hits the dude in the leg, so they can make this dude bulletproof.
Right.
But they can't stop a knife from stabbing him in the leg.
Oh, that's some Achilles heel shit.
I mean, for real. And he starts freaking out. Like, he's hasn't felt
Nobody
pain.
makes me bleed my own blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's got very much that sort of thing going on. And he's freaking out. Like, he never felt pain before. He starts crying, calling for his mom, rolling around.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, one of these huge mascots just comes along and just squashes him like a fucking grape.
Yeah, like a little grape.
And Jet calls Spike up and is just like, hey, we got all this information. Like, you might want to know this before you go into the fight. And Spike's like, man.
Fuck. I already got, wow. Thanks. Fucking thanks. I'm already dead. My shoulder fucked up. I'm out here looking like Ace Boogie on Paid in Full. Now, why are you telling me this now, bro? Like,
Too
come
little,
on, dog.
too late.
Right. Fuck out of here.
But he ends the episode, the Mad Perot has been put out of his misery. You know, we had that moment. Faye finally got to show up and came back for her people. That's episode 20.
He did shit else. The rest of just come in and shoot a 3-pointer.
So, all right, Ice. I know you haven't been on for the last 3 or so episodes we've been doing this show.
It's been a minute. I'm back in this
I'm
bitch.
sure you got lots to say. So, what do you think of these 4 episodes? Where are you at on this?
I think, first and foremost, I feel like y'all scores are way too fucking high for this.
As you said, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, and I said it in the chat too, but I think it's high, and I know you said this before too when in the chat as well. It's not like a ratio or anything like that, but it's like just the other shows that we watch that we've enjoyed more, we've given higher scores. like the Demon Slayers, the Mob Psychos, and stuff like that. The even which one did we watch recently that we liked? I mean, like, I can't say that this is, even though I like Tokyo Ghoul, but even though the first season did fall kind of flat, and nostalgia might have been a thing for me, but I can't even say I enjoy this as much as I enjoy Tokyo Ghoul. And it's not terrible. It's better than Samurai Champloo, and I'm not even I even compartmentalize my hatred for Samurai Champloo to watch this, even watching this. So it's not even that coming back. And the parts of Samurai Champloo that are reminiscent in this are the good parts. Like the parts that I enjoyed about Samurai Champloo are the same things that I enjoy about Cowboy Bebop.
Sure.
But I just don't like the buttons that they end everything. I'm not a fan of that. I think y'all touched on it too, and like, you can't binge this because it's just like Saturday. And I said this early on, like the first 4 episodes, I was like, it's like some Saturday morning cartoon shit. Like,
and it kind of is in a way.
And you can't. I mean, granted, they ended in 26 episodes, so even with, like, at least with Evangelion, it was a marathon, but it was a continuous marathon. This is just like 26 sprints where you get tired. Like, it's like, how it's going to end. You know that, like, even with this, like, even though Spike got fucked up, you knew he wasn't going to die. Like, there's nothing on the line there's no stakes. For me. Like, it was cool to watch that. It was cool to watch somebody as OP as Spike has been get fucked up and kind of meet his match in a sense. But there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to die.
Yeah, no, he was going to be fine.
And I don't know. I just so overall, I think this might have been the best stretch of episodes.
Really? Okay.
I think for me that I enjoyed the most outside of the Vicious episodes. But I think Brennan putting that shit together made me enjoy the Vicious episodes more. I think it kind of saved them, in my opinion. But I'm not mad that we're watching it, but I would never watch this again.
I could see that, and it's probably same for me. I'm sorry. What's your rating?
5,500.
Okay.
Yeah, 5,500 for this stretch of episodes, and then overall like a 5,200.
Okay.
Because I'm a big jazz and blues guy, and I love that, and I love the references that they make, like the Charlie Parker. They talk about him. They talk about Dizzy and stuff like that, like the jazz greats, and I appreciate the homage that they pay to them, and even some of the titles are paying homage to them. So I like that. I think that's pretty dope, but it's not enough to like save it. It's not a basement. It's not a Samurai Champloo. If I had to choose one, because they're around the same episode count, I would watch this 3 times over before I watch Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because I mean, obviously it's a similar vibe to Samurai Champloo. I feel like Samurai Champloo has had more episodes. So at least so far where we're at in Cowboy Bebop, like there were more episodes in Champloo that just felt like they were just total throwaways. Yeah. Like with this show in particular, I think the only one that I'm like, you could probably just take that out entirely is like the episode where they had the monster on the ship. Yeah, and with
the eating ended up
the weird lobster sandwich in the fridge. That just was a little. It felt like it was going to be something, and it felt kind of like a gotcha to me. They tried to make it a horror episode, and then it was like, whatever.
My only thing that's also confusing about y'all scores is, well, more specifically when Keenan was saying, like, he said that Cowboy Bebop hasn't matched the highs of Samurai Champloo, but we dog Samurai Champloo. So the fact that we saying it's almost 4,000 points better than Samurai Champloo, but it hasn't even met the highs of Samurai Champloo. Like,
and I wonder if he would change that opinion, because I think he said that a couple episodes ago.
He said
before
like
had
the second stretch.
This particular episode, the episode with the prison ship, that was a little bit more action heavy. Right. Because like for sure, Samurai Champloo did have those episodes with like the blind woman,
right, the gay
dude,
and then the ending,
and then the ending where it's just like you had some action-packed episodes that were fun and exhilarating, and there was tension. So I don't know. For me personally, it's getting to the point where they're kind of matching up in that way. Yeah. I think this show is definitely more consistently enjoyable for me than Samurai Champloo was. Yeah. And I like the characters better on this. I like Jin a lot, but Fu and Mugen were not really doing it for me personally.
Yeah, you're right.
But I like Spike. I like Jet. the only one that I'm really not liking at all is kind of Ed.
Yeah,
personally.
because she came in. Y'all touched on it in other episode too. Like she came in so strong, where you took over the whole fucking Bebop, and you haven't really outside of breaking into that, you know, their system on the 20th episode, haven't
Right.
really done anything that lived up to that.
You haven't matched that again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. This particular stretch of episodes might have been my least favorite, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I liked the last one. There were moments that I liked in these episodes, but just as episodes themselves, I was kind of like, this was all right.
Right.
I'm trying to think of specific. I mean, again, when I saw the mushroom episode, I was just like, shit. And the fact that it was an Ed-centric episode, like there were moments that made me laugh, but just the fact that it centered around my least favorite character, I wasn't as drawn in.
And the jokes don't hit.
Not as much.
However they tried to write it. And I don't even think it's a 90s thing. It's just not really written well jokes. They're just not well written jokes. And I think that's what it's chalked up to.
Yeah, just not translating. And
Yeah.
I mean, the moment with the second episode with the beta tape, that moment with Faye at the end, I think kind of saved it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was like a cool, like emotional
Yeah,
moment for her.
yeah, I like that.
But the rest of it, didn't really do anything for me.
That was like some Evangelion shit to me.
A little
I got
bit.
Evangelion vibes from that piece, just 'cause it's just like that deep, thought-provoking shit. Like, oh shit, this is a younger me, and like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
And
you
there's
know?
definitely a lot of similar themes between the shows, like the fact that it's a lot of people that choose to isolate themselves and how
Yeah.
they deal with other people.
Yeah.
Like that whole hedgehog's dilemma thing
Yep,
comes up a lot
yep.
on the show, I think. And then the episode with Spike's old boss, I thought was that the stuff with going on with Spike and his old boss, that was cool. The stuff with the pirate stuff was kind of annoying because Ed was botching the whole thing, and this was her moment to shine, and she just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
But the last episode was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So personally, I'm sitting probably at like a 6,000 right now for this show. Or at least the stretch episods. I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't get into the show until we get to the ending. But I mean, you needed to get that off your chest. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
did. That was
a little bit more fitting.
Because I was just, just listening to y'all, then going in the chat. Like I felt like I'm a fan of the show because I'm on the show, but I felt like you know, like what the fuck, like what?
Yeah.
I can't. I was like, I hope I get to one day be on the show so I can tell them how I'm like, oh wait, I'm on the fucking show. What
Yeah.
am I talking about? But I was so going for X amount of weeks, but I was just like, I can't wait till I get back on.
And I mean,
Like,
you're not alone. There's definitely people that have said that they're just not as interested in this show. I know some people have stopped watching or just kind of listened to us go through it. And
yeah,
I can
you
understand.
making this shit sound way better than it is. I said that in the chat. I'm listening. I'm like, when the fuck did any of this stuff happen?
I mean, hey, that's a compliment. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. But I mean, I get why this show wouldn't necessarily appeal to some people. It's definitely slower paced, especially in a day and age where you do have faster paced serialized shows that are building towards something.
Yeah.
Where this show is just like 26, like you said, sprints, like little micro studies on different themes of like loneliness and isolation, which can mean that individual episodes can be very deep and have a lot of layers and have a lot of meaning, but if that's not what you're looking for out of your entertainment, I can totally see why it wouldn't be your
But it's
your
like you
thing.
can't get deep and then peace out. Like that's the thing that's annoying. Like if you're gonna get deep rooted and do some Evangelion shit where it's like I'm gonna keep unpacking this throughout X amount of episodes. They get deep and be like, oh no, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
All right, this has been real, y'all.
I mean, they kind of, and the one show that I keep comparing this to that's new, because it sort of fits a similar thing is The Mandalorian, in that like it's about bounty hunters.
Yeah.
You kind of have like a mission of the week sort of thing.
Yeah.
But what I think makes Mandalorian a little bit more interesting, I mean, at least for me and maybe for other people, even though it's a similar thing, is you only had 8 episodes. So you had to make that shit move.
Yeah,
So it was very fast paced. I mean, there is an A story, like overall through Cowboy Bebop with what's going on with Spike and Vicious.
Yeah.
But because it's over 26 episodes, it's so spread out
Yeah, and it's
that
like-
sometimes when that comes up, and I forgot to mention at the end of the 20th episode, one of the things that throws Perot off is that he sees that
Yes,
Spike's
his
eyes
eyes,
are
yeah.
different colored again, just like the cat. Reminds him of the cat, and it throws him off. But that's more hints that there's something going on with Spike.
Yeah.
And here we are 20 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't know that I could tell you what the fuck that is.
Right. Yeah. And it's like that's what's bothering me too. Is like you got 6 episodes to wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
What are you going to like? How are you going to button all of this? I think that them ending every episode like that is it's backfired to them because it's like this is something that you could have talked about in episode 10, episode 11, and made it an ongoing thing. But now you're forced to kind of package all of this or release all this information about all these characters in the last 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And unless they did something where they had to end abruptly and like a Hunter x Hunter thing where they can't really keep going, or somebody's like, hey, wrap this shit up. And like, oh, fuck, okay. And then it's like, you about to just get a big download on Spike, a big download on Jet, Faye, and everybody. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And it's like, that's a lot to do in 6 episodes.
It is. And I do wonder too, especially since this is, and this is something we talked about last week with it being an older show, at a time when TV was just different. People watch TV in a different way. Right. Or even that like TV itself was sort of packaged differently in that like a season was 24, 26 episodes. So they may have been in a situation where maybe they had, 10, 12, maybe 15 like solid episodes of how we're going to tell this story. But when you get a season order, it's 26 episodes and they're like, all right, how are we going to make this work? I guess let's have an episode where they have a lobster sandwich go bad and it turns into a monster. I don't know.
Right.
So I think this definitely falls into that same category that Samurai Champloo does, where I think it would be stronger if it had less episodes.
Yeah.
And
you actually could care more so about Vicious. Because they just like, shit's getting boring, let's drop Vicious in there. And then like, okay, they pull him out. Oh, okay, let me drop him back in. So you'll probably see him one more time.
Probably.
And then,
in like the last 2-3 episodes, you'll see a big wrap up with them.
Yep.
I think that's probably
will probably end up seeing Julia if she's not dead. But,
So, I mean, like I said, my rating's a 6,000, which I think is pretty decent. I mean, what's that? Out of 10, that's like a 7.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. I kind of agree that like I wouldn't like, oh man, like I'm bored. What am I gonna just put on to pass some time? It's not gonna be Cowboy Bebop.
Right.
But I am enjoying the show in general. I mean like 6,000 out of 9,000, that's kind of where I'm at. My lowest so far, but I mean it's a decent show. Yeah. It's kind of where I'm at.
All right, cool. I mean, I'm at 52? I said 5,500 so far for the whole show overall. 52 for this stretch. No, it's reversed. 55. 5,500 for this stretch. 52 overall for this show. But yeah, I'm just thinking about, and maybe I shouldn't do this, but I'm just thinking about like if anything is 6,000 or above, I'm recommending it. So that's how I kind of look at it. From 6,000 on, it's like, oh yeah, you should check it out. 7,000 is like, yeah, this shit's pretty dope, bro. 8,000, 9,000 is like you hitting them like, hey, have you watched this yet? Have you watched this yet? Have you watched this yet? I told you to watch the shit. I told you to watch Mob Psycho. Like like you see me in the chat. Like I go hard for Mob Psycho.
Mob Psycho's a great show.
And I would, that's the 8,000 to 9,000, 7,500 to 9,000 range is how I see like a Mob Psycho.
And I'd say that's kind of where I'm at on this show personally. Like I know I started off in like the low 70, 7,000s, and that was when like it first started out. And I'm like, I thought the first stretch of 4 episodes was a really strong start, and I was like, oh shit, like if it keeps up this pace the whole time, like I'm gonna really like this and strongly recommend it. I think it kind of slowed its pace down a lot, which is why for me it's been kind of steadily dropping. And at a 6,000, like I would still say to people like, "Oh, you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop? You should check it out." Yeah. Like it's a cool show. But would I say your life is going to be changed by it? I don't know. I don't think so. But
I feel like I know Cam is probably fucking killing us right now. I would say that the one thing about Samurai Champloo, if you've watched one episode of it, you watched all of them.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would say I definitely I mean, obviously we're into the last 6 episodes. Maybe something crazy will happen, but I personally am enjoying the show more than Samurai Champloo.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, okay, cool. You want to drop your information, man?
Yeah. I'll talk about those other 2 guys. Those other scripts. Did they drop the information?
Brennan did Mr. Producer Face, and then we
Baldy bitch.
And then Keenan Baker on everything.
Another balded bitch. Yeah.
Is he Keenan Baker? Or is he Keenan Baker?
No, I'm the dot.
Oh yeah,
you're
just
the Keenan Baker on everything. I'm Ice Dot McGowan.
That's right. And I'm RV Danger on Instagram. You can message me there. And yeah, that's it. I've never wrapped up an episode.
And that's another episode of AnimeSHUN.
All right.
Peace out, bitches.
We out.
And so anime was solved forever.